YouTube online classes for BSc first semester in Geology subject. Today I want to discuss about the continuation part of the first unit, that is the phylum Nemathalanthus or Ascalamanthus. So this is the another one topic in the first unit, that is the phylum Nemathalanthus or Ascalamanthus. So this is Nemathalanthus is the oldest name for the phylum Ascalamanthus. So nowadays we are using this phylum as a Ascalamanthus. So today we have to discuss about the general characteristics of these Nemathalanthus. So last class we have already finished the phylum Platyhelminthes. In that general characteristics and the classification and parasitic adaptation we have already finished the phylum Platyhelminthes. So today we have to discuss about the continuation part of first unit, that is the general characteristics of Nemathalanthus or Ascalamanthus. So first general characteristics of the phylum Nemathalanthus is these are freshwater. These are mostly marine animals. Marine means seawater animals, and they are free living. In a marine water, they have moved in a free living water. They have not at all adjusted to any of the substrate. Substrate means they basically not attached to any of the organ in the sea water. So that's why these are free living and these are marine. And another one is these are parasitic animals. Parasitic, you know already, they have to live in another body of the animal. So this is the first general characteristics of the phylum Nemathalanthus. And another one is usually these are small. Means we can't able to see by our naked eyes. These are microscopic animals. So these are marine, free living, parasitic animals, as well as these are microscopic animals. Microscopic means we can't able to see by our naked eyes. So these are microscopic organs. And the body is slender or vermiform or flat or cylindrical or unsegmented and bilaterally symmetrical, and these are triploblastic animals. Means the body of these Ascalamanthus are slender. Slender is nothing but slim. They are looking like slim, as well as vermiform. Vermi is nothing but these are also called as roundworms. Roundworms. How the Platyhelminthes we have to say that those are flat worms. Here Nemathalanthus or Ascalamanthus we have to say that roundworms. See here in that wormy form is nothing but they are looking like worms like structure or flat. These are always flat like structure and cylindrical. Some are cylindrical in shape and some are unsegmented. Unsegmented means there is no division of the body. They have flat form and the body is bilateral symmetry. Bilateral but body is divisible into two equal parts. And these are triploblastic. Triploblastic is nothing but three layers are formed in this of the phylum Ascalamanthus. The body is triploblastic. Means tri is nothing but three layers are present in these animals. So this is the special characteristics of Ascalamanthus. The next one is organ system of organization is present. Organ system of organization is present. Means here we have to see the organs. Organs means there is maybe head portions or circulatory system is present or nervous system is present. So that's why we have to say that organ system of organization, organ level of body formation is there in these animals. That's why we have to say the organ system of organization is present in these animals. The next character is head not distinctly formed with well-defined sense organs. Head is present but it is not well-defined, means it will not have any part like eyes, mouth and some of the suckers, and these all are not at all present in these animals. So head is present, it is not well-defined. So next character is the body wall with cellular epidermis. The body wall, you know already, it is a triploblastic animal. So the triploblastic animals is nothing but it is having 3 layers of the layers are formed on the body. So here we have to say that the body wall with cellular epidermis. So this is epidermis is present, and another one is externally covered with thick cuticle. So it is forming with a thick cuticle. Thick cuticle means the covering is having a thick cuticle is present in these animals, and these thick cuticle is having some of the scleroproteins are present in these animals. Scleroprotein is present in the wall of cellular epidermis. That's why these are thick cuticles are formed around the body of the animal. So ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. In the mesoderm there is a special kind of layer is present, that is pseudocele. Pseudocele is present in the mesoderm or in the middle layer. So it is triploblastic, and the outermost layer, that is a cellular epidermis, is having a thick cuticle. This thick cuticle is having scleroprotein. Scleroprotein is present in the thick wall of the epidermis. So that is the another characteristics of the Ascalepids. Then next is digestive canal complete with mouth, means digestive system is present. Digestive system is present. How? Means mouth is present and pharynx is present. So mouth, pharynx is present and the digestive system is also present in these animals, and straight non-muscular intestine and posterior edus is present. Intestine means in human body we have to see the intestine like this, but in these Ascalepids these are straight intestine is present as well as they have anus. So that's why the digestive system in Ascalepids is completed. So the digestive organs are present, mouth, pharynx, straight intestine, anus is present in a posterior part of the body. So that's why the digestive system is present in these animals. The next one is excretory system is present with protonephridia. Protonephridia means excretory system is also present in these animals by the help of protonephridia or canal system. You know already the meaning of canal. So protonephridia or canal excretory systems are present in these Ascalepids. So the next one is nervous system is also present. Nervous system is present means there is only one part of the nervous system is present in these animals, that is cerebral ganglia. Cerebral ganglia is present in these animals, means the nervous system is also present in these animals. The next general characteristics of the phylum Ascalepids, that is these are mostly dioecious animals. Dioecious means, you know already dioecious means two. Di means two. Means male and female organs both are present in these animals. These are dioecious. And another one character is male usually smaller than female. Male is always smaller than that of female. So that is the So these are dioecious. Male is always smaller than that of female. So means female is bigger and male is smaller in the size of the body. The next one, eggs with chitinous cells. Eggs with chitinous shell. Means eggs are having like this, and these are having chitinous shell membrane is present in the egg of the Ascalamantis phylum. The next character is cleavage determined and these are spiral. Cleavage is nothing but egg is present means the cleavage is division of eggs. In that cleavage we have to say that the division of mitosis and meiosis divisions are present, but in the Ascalamantis the cleavage is spiral in a shape. So that is the another character of the Ascalamantis. Then the last character is the development usually direct. Development usually with direct with no larval stage. With no larval stage. But indirect with complicated life history. Complicated life history by indirect development. Means you know already these are always say that parasitic microscopic organisms. They have to produce the larval stage, that is by direct method. They have to live in another body and they have to survival and they have to regenerate their family. Means these are complicated life history of indirect process. So that is the characteristics of these Ascalamantis. So these are the some general characteristics of the phylum Ascalamantis. So next topic, that is classification of Ascalamantis. So this phylum we consider as superphylum. Why we are saying these are the superphylum means these are organ level of organization and these are not at all divisible into linear hierarchy. Linear hierarchy is nothing but there is a systematic classification of kingdom, phylum, class, family, genus, species. So that is not at all divided in the phylum Nemathalanthus. So that's why this we have to consider as superphylum. So superphylum Nemathalanthus. So depending upon the microscopic organism as well as organ level of organization, this Nemathalanthus is divided into 5 phylums. There is a no class, there is a no family, no order at all. Only the 5 phylums are present in these animals. So first one, the phylum is Rotifera, and second one Gastrotheca, and third one Chimerica, and fourth one Nematomorpha, and the fifth one phylum, that is Nematoda. So this is the phylums are present in the superphylum, that is the Nemathalanthus or Ascalamanthus. So up to in the Platyhelminthes we have to understand that those are small animals. They divided into cell to tissue level of organization, but in the Ascalamanthus these are organ level of organization. That's why we should consider it is a superphylum Nemathalanthus. So depending upon that character, these Nemathalanthus is divided into 5 phylum. One is Rotifera, Gastrotheca, Chimerica, and Nematomorpha and Nematoda. So this Nematoda is very important because this is only a living species of today. So these are some are extinct and some are parasitic animals. So these nematodas are usually living parasitic Asclepianthes. So these are some classification of the phylum, superphylum Nemathalaminthes. There is no class, only phylums are there. So in the next period we will continue one of the phylums and example and some phylums we have to discuss in the next period. Thank you.